Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sports Betting Truth Reaction Series, and we are going back to the well to one of our favorite people to pick on, and that is Linemaker Sports, with another clickbait title: "Win every game you bet on in the NBA with this strategy." This was a live stream he did 3 months ago, but it has 129,000 views, so I thought I owed it to everybody to do a video to see if what he says is accurate. Again, I have not watched this video, so my reactions will be the first time seeing this. But the first thing I noticed is that he has a lot longer hair now. Looks like a caveman.
What's going on? Hey, Frank here with Linemaker Sports. I'm going to give you guys an NBA strategy today that you could pretty much guarantee that you're going to win on. Now, we'll get into that in just a second. All right, guys? It's going to be an NBA strategy, all right?
Go to motionready.com to add this
NBA strategy. Now, what are we going to do? How are we going to narrow this down? All right, how are we going to narrow this down to games that we can actually pay attention to? All right, so this is what you want to do. First step, this is going to be, you're going to look at the slate of games, and what you're going to do is you're going to look for games where the spread is -3 or less. All right, this is what you're looking for games that are -3 or less. If you could find -3 or less, then we're going to put a circle around that. All right, we're going to find those type of games, and we're going to go ahead and put a circle around that stuff. All right, that's how we're going to start it out. All right, because how we're going to address this now is going to be we're going to be betting this game live. All right, we're going to be doing some stuff in this. It's going to be live bets. All right, so what you want to do here is when a game is -3 or less, now we want to look at the money line aspect of this. All right, so your underdog in -3 or less is going to pretty much vary probably anywhere from like +105 to probably +140, 145-ish. That's what the underdog is going to look like in a matchup like this. All right, so first off, you start here. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the money line, and we're going to take the underdog. We're going to start with the underdog. All right, so let's say the underdog is +145. All right, let's say it's +145. Now, what we're doing here, we're not taking any bets yet. All right, we're not taking any bets. Not doing it just yet. We're looking at the underdog right now in this aspect. All right, the game is going to start. We're going to wait for the game to start. Now, we're not going to make a bet, all right, until the end of the first quarter, because we're going to see how this game goes in the start of the first quarter, because we want to make sure it's not lopsided and it's not going to be a complete blowout right out the gate. All right, so we're going to wait until the end of the first quarter. All right, so now we wait till the first quarter ends. All right, once that happens, now what we're going to do is we are going to place a bet on the plus money team. All right, if this isn't a blowout situation where it comes out the gate and the team's not up, as long as at the end of the first quarter the team is not up by like 12, 15 points or something like that, then we're going to take the plus money money line in this matchup. All right, because in the NBA, if you know anything about the NBA, you know anything about basketball, it's a game of runs. All right, so there's runs in the NBA. All right, no matter how bad a team is or how good a team is, everybody has runs in that game where it can fluctuate. All right, so a team can go on a 10-0 run, they could take the lead. The team could go on a 15-0 run and come back and take the lead and stuff like that. So NBA is a game of runs. It's going to happen throughout the whole entire game. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to grab the underdog right here. We're trying to first snatch an underdog at plus money on the money line, all right? And then what we want to do is, as the game is going on, take advantage of the runs, all right? So right now, if you're betting that team, obviously the other team is like -170 or whatnot on that, all right? Well, when this team right here makes their run, you pay attention to that, and you pay attention to the live money line on that. All right, because when they make their run, these odds are going to shift. All right, so they might even become a favorite live. All right, now this only happens in games, like I said, that are the spread is -3 or less, because these are predicted obviously to be tight games. All right, so this only works, like I said, in that type of aspect of those certain games. All right, so you're looking for plus money to start out with, and then once the other team makes a run, when this team makes a run, your favorite on the other side now is going to probably jump to plus money. All right, so you might see the other team now flop. All right, and the other team that you don't have money on, and they become plus money as well, whether it be plus 120 or whatnot. They end up becoming plus money as well. So what you do there is now you go ahead and you place a bet on that team. So now what have you did? You bet on both teams. All right, you bet on both teams. So obviously one of those teams are going to win. You bet on both of those teams in plus money. All right, so that means that's a guaranteed profit. No matter what happens in that game, you're going to make a certain amount of money. All right, it might not be a lot, but it's still guaranteed profit. All right, and it's kind of like an arbitrage type thing. All right, that's how it is when you're looking at a live NBA game, because this is really the only sport that you could pretty much do that, because you can't do it in football because there's not constant runs in football. You just can't. Hockey, you can't do it. The NBA and college basketball are the only ones that you could really do this at, all right, where there's a constant runs in games to where a team could be down by 20 points, let's say in the third quarter, and they could come back and tie the game and take the lead. It happens every single day in the NBA, to be honest. It happens a lot, all right? So this is how you can guarantee yourself a profit if you want to bet live and you want to bet games, as they're going on, all right? So as they're going on, you want to pay attention. Again, I'm going to go through the steps here. First off, we're going to look at games. We're going to put a circle around games that the spread is -3 or less. All right, so put your circle around that stuff. All right, so then, excuse me, hold on. Let's answer this question real quick, because I do want to address that before I go any further. Yes, you'd be putting the same unit on both teams. All right, you would be putting the same unit. You would not adjust the unit size. Like, let's say $100, for example. Circle those games out, and then never get the run back to, getting for this. Got to make sure it's within about a 5-point range. You place one unit on.
All right, I've seen enough. And all I have to say is that I really hope that my audience, even though it's about half of the number of subscribers this clown has, I really hope my audience is smart enough to where I don't have to explain why this strategy is absolutely stupid and why the title of his video, Win Every Game You Bet on the NBA with the Strategy, is absolute garbage, clickbait. But I'm going to go ahead and explain why this strategy is stupid. Just in case it doesn't click for you right off the bat, but I know my audience is very smart and they already know what I'm about to say. So let's say you go ahead and go with this clown in his strategy on the NBA, and you go ahead and wait till the first quarter ends, and you place the bet on that team at plus 145. Say they're down by, 3 at the end of the first quarter, they're at plus 145. And say that team digs a further and further and further and further hole in that game, and they never end up becoming the favorite, and the opposite team never ends up becoming a money line dog on the live odds. That will happen. What this clown is trying to say is that that's not going to happen. He's saying that every single game in the NBA with -3 or less that's close at the end of the first quarter is going to flip-flop back and forth, and both teams are going to be favored on the money line live. That is not true. There are plenty of runaways in the NBA that had a -3 or less pregame spread that are close at the end of the first quarter that end up turning into runaways. You can absolutely lose on this strategy. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. It's stupid. The team that's at plus 145 at the end of the first quarter in a close game in a -3 or less pregame spread absolutely can then fall behind 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 points at halftime and then get blown out for the rest of the game. And you lost your bet at plus 145 and never had a chance to bet the other team at plus moneyline odds live. Come on, man. Think. I mean, if it really were that simple, everyone would be doing it, and books would not be offering live bets on the NBA, or they would raise the juice so much to where it wouldn't be worth it. Get it? Come on, man. I can't believe. I hope all 129,000 people that watch this trash, this absolute trash, ended up being like, oh, wow, this guy's an idiot. Because he is. Let's see if there's any comments that call this guy out. So it looks like Jesus Navarro 9541 had to scroll down a bit, calls this guy out. He says, I've always thought about this strategy, but I wouldn't blindly do this. I think it's worth looking through data to understand what the long-term expected value is. How often do 3 to 3.5 underdogs become the favorites at any point in the game, and does this out-profit the frequency at which the underdogs don't become the favorites at any point? The other question would be, what is the expected plus money value that would net you the most profit? Do we hedge at plus 120, 110, 140, etc.? Definitely need a well-defined system. Tomas Wolf says, works 95% of the time, but you can get the underdog and they immediately give up a huge run and it never comes back. Jack Templin 2775 says, well, what happens if the underdog you bet on is never favored at any point in the game? The game, it does work. You're winning a fraction of a unit. A fifth, maybe a third if you're lucky. But when the scenario I mentioned happens, you're losing nearly a full unit. Yes. This is like the martingale system of live betting. Yeah, most of the time it's going to work. But the time it does work, you're making a small profit, and the times it doesn't work, you're losing a lot more than what you would have won. Profits Daily 3 says, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Quote, Thomas Edison. Anyway, this video is trash, guys, and I really hope the 127 or 129,000 people that watched it are like, wow, I wasted 9 minutes and 28 seconds of my life, because I feel like I wasted time watching it too, even though I made a video about it. But at least you guys now know that this video is trash. Like I said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. That goes for everything sports betting related. This guy's a grifter. He's a grifter, and that's why Sports Betting Truth, yours truly, is the place to go for actual sports betting advice on YouTube, because I have grift-free sports betting discussion. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to pump sunshine and sell you on ideas that are too good to be true. I just tell it like it is. Grift free here. Yeah, I might not win you any money, but at least if you listen to me, you might not lose money by following stupid strategies like this one. Anyway, you guys have been watching Sports Betting Truth. I will see you guys later.